Hey guys, Chris here, back from CNH Small Engine. I had a quick time to make some a short video here specifically for a machine we're working on inside here because it was raining outside today. So I thought I'd do a quick 5-minute video here for you guys. We had a customer here from about 3 or 4 days ago. He brought us his lawnboy vintage machine from the I think it was middle to late 80s. So this is like a 1985 to 87 machine. I'll give you a shot at the actual tag here for reference points. This is a lawnboy made by OMC, model number 8243. There you go. A product group of Outboard Marine Corporation. So you know this is a vintage machine made back in the middle to the late 80s. 8243 model number. And this is the one that has the rear drive unit, that has the transmission, and also it has the rollers on the actual transmission itself right here for that. So you have these rollers right here that go up against your wheel right here, and you also have a single speed differential or transmission type right here as well. It's probably basically a differential because it's going at a 1 speed right there, and you cannot change the speed other than the actual shaft's input speed right there for reference point. So it's a single speed differential if you want to call it that. Now these rollers work against it right here, just like so. These roll, and your shaft right there also spins. That's how it works right there on each side. These are fixed. Each side's fixed on here. It's like a locked differential if you want to call it that. Well, the customer called us up here last week and they told us the machine was not driving, so obviously they brought it to us, and we found out that the problem was, first and foremost, it took about 10 or 15 minutes. We found on here the guy's intermediate shaft on here was damaged and needs basically to be replaced. They actually make a a coupler repair kit, I think it's called, on Lawnboy's website, and it consists of about, I think, 5 different parts. You get this piece right here, which is the rear portion of the coupler right here. You get the new spring. You got a new spring right here. You get a new intermediate shaft. This is the piece right here. You get the other portion of the coupler right here. And you also get a new washer. They have another washer to put on here as well too. This is the other washer they include with the kit. This is the second one we just put on there, just to check it out and see how it's going to go on there. So what actually happens is whenever your drive unit is on a machine is on the bottom of your engine right here, you do have to remove the engine for reference points, guys. So just be aware of that fact. You have this coupler. Here's your PTO shaft right on the bottom of the engine down here on the bottom of the crank. So this is what actually drives the transmission unit on a machine. You have this square peg coming out of here, and you have your one portion of the coupler. This thing goes on there, and after that you have your shaft right here, the new shaft. Put that over there, sorry about that. It's gonna roll underneath the thing over there, sorry about that. Okay, let me get it out of here. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. You put that on there, and there's your new PTO shaft, primarily for your driving of your rear transmission right there. The old one, as I said before, it was totally worn out. So let me give you a shot of that right now. Here's the old one combined with the, or I should say, right next side by side. And as you see, this one is quite warm. I'm saying zoom in on you and give you a better shot. There you go. That's a good shot right there. It is almost totally rounded on the front portion, and because of that, the shaft is no longer able to transmit power from the engine's PTO back to the back to the single speed differential back there. So because it's totally rounded, you cannot transmit any power at all. So you can hold this thing stand up here. Sorry about that. Put them side by side here for you guys. There you go. Totally rounded. It will no longer provide any kind of power going back to the differential. So it has to be replaced. So if you have a machine like this is a vintage machine. This is a 1985 to about 1987, 89 machine. And you're having drive problems, and it looks like the PTO shaft is not spinning on here at all. More than likely, this intermediate shaft is probably worn and damaged, and you have to replace that. And the only way to verify that would be to take off the engine from the deck. So you have to physically remove the whole engine. You got to take it off the deck. Then you have to verify the shaft is okay. You need to verify that the PTO shaft coming out of the engine right down here is okay. Make sure it's perfectly flat on each side. And the other thing is you want to pull over the engine itself. You know, you want to use a recoil unit, or you can also spin over the crankshaft down here to verify that the PTO right here is indeed spinning over, because you don't want to replace the actual intermediate shaft here unless you can verify the PTO shaft is indeed working fine and is turning over for reference points. So this job should typically take about maybe about an hour and 15 minutes to do from start to finish. And you do want to clean up all kind of kind of oil and crap like that on top of the deck, because when you want to put it back together, you might make sure everything's clean and put back together in a proper manner, clean and dry. So if anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot, feel free to leave me a message here, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible, guys. I'll see you. Have a nice day.